So you get into the 2022 off season, and what changes? Anything? And I know at some point you started training in the garage, which is a whole nother equally to me fascinating topic, because for those that have trained in an intense environment with a bunch of other like-minded people versus training alone in the garage, it takes an incredible amount of discipline to bring that intensity. I had a bunch of equipment in the garage, and I don't even do it there anymore because I realized like I need to go to a destination where there's other people, so I feel. You know what I mean? And I will occasionally get in there and just hit some kettlebell swings and, but it's nothing to the extent where you, correct me if I'm wrong, were training essentially full time in your garage. When did that occur? And how did you maintain any intensity getting in there? Like when your daughter's taking a nap and you're a games level athlete, like that just blows my mind.
Right. Thank you. I made the shift last year. So 2022 in November. With working out with other people and being at a gym that's not mine, I'm a paying member, comes drama. So as I'm being a little bit more successful in CrossFit, I want to do a little bit extra, but I have to be respectful of the class going on, when is open gym time. And it just got to be more of a headache than it was helping me. So I was like, okay, my husband built this beautiful house. We have a garage gym. Just for a month, I'm going to try working out in there from November to December. And then I loved it. So I was like, okay, I'll do it from December to January. And then I just carried it around all season and absolutely fell in love with it because I had mental peace. There were no outside distractions. There was no drama. There was no, oh, can I use this barbell?
Of course.
My focus now was being elite and trying to work my way into the top 10. So I had to change my environment a little bit. But I do have one person that shows up with me. And I think that's the key for me to staying accountable and pushing hard is one other person's there. They may not be doing the same reps, but we're both suffering together. So it changes the whole environment.
And is he or she like anywhere near your level? No offense to them, but like, are they pushing you or are they scaling it? And
no,
okay.
No. So if I do 21:15.9, he might do 18:14.9. So we'll get off the bike roughly the same, but we're not doing the same amount of reps.
Yeah, that's wild too, because we've all been there where it's like, you drop the barbell and you're gassed and you're sucking wind, and the other person, you see them walking to pick the bar back up and you're like, damn it, I gotta go. Whereas when you're by yourself, you're like, all right, I'm gonna take 2 more breaths, where before you're going right at it. So like, it's such a difference when you have that. So the fact that you were able to still simulate that intensity, clearly shows how mentally tough you are, and you must be getting that drive from inside, because there's no other way to do it. Okay.
And that's the fun part is this past season, I worked on my mental talk, which was, okay, I'm in the gym alone. I'm working out super intense, but guess what? When I'm on the competition floor, I can't hear my coach screaming at me. I can't hear this and this and this. It's just me on the games floor. If I can push myself in training to make the mental voice in my head say, okay, you're tired, but can you go a little bit faster? Okay, you've done 10 reps. Can you just hang on for 11? When I step out on the competition floor and my mind is still there with me, that's the biggest change I saw this season, was self-talk in the gym led to great self-talk on the floor.
What did that training look like?
It looked like having what are comfortable numbers. So for me, my cadence comfortable on the bike is 65. So in training in my home gym, it looked like picking it up to 67. Okay, 67 hertz. Can you go to 68? You still have a little bit more. So just comfortable, making 67 the new comfortable, then making 69, like little baby changes that led to a good result.
Yeah, and it's such a balance, particularly with CrossFit and really any like endurance sport, because like there's always that, if I go a little bit harder, the mental part, but there is a physiological component. If you go too hard on the back half of the workout, like things just break down. I mean, we've seen that. But the fact that you were kind of repping that and mentally rehearsing it the entire off season, I would imagine made the adjustment on the competition floor. Like, okay, it's not like now that I make it to the games, I'm finally going to go hard. You'd been simulating that, and you probably redlined, enough to know where, how to toe that line, but maybe not cross it. And maybe until that last workout, and then you just, you go for broke and just send it. But that's cool that those mental reps almost kind of reinforced and prepared you for that in the lonely garage, in your head. So, Okay, so the second game season in 2022, anything different as you approached it? Was your outlook different? Did you feel like you were more of a contender? Hey, I belong here. Did you have any more like any swagger? You know, obviously because you walk off the games floor, you know, top 15. I would imagine that has to bring some new confidence of like, hey, this wasn't a fluke. I am as elite as all these other women here. So did your outlook change as you went into that next season? Did it help you? You know, you ended up getting 11th that year, so you know, pretty good improvement. Then obviously, the following year you got third. So like, what was different second season at the games?
Yeah, second season at the games, I in January probably stopped doing just the class WOD, and I would show up at 11 a.m. and do an extra, let's say, strength session, extra cardio piece, and then at 12 o'clock I would do the class workout. So I intentionally added one more hour of training plus the class workout. And the hour of training was working on weaknesses, looking at last season, what do I want to improve on? And it did give me a lot more confidence going into semifinals. But actually at semifinals in 2022, I did not qualify for the games. And I had to do what was called the last chance qualifier and do this online competition and fight for a spot. And it was very humbling because I went into it, oh, I'm a games athlete. I've been working out hard. I'll punch a games ticket. And it was a little bit of a reality check. Like, no, you still have to fight. You still have to show up. And on the competition floor, you can't be complacent with, oh, I'll go hard once I get to competition. I'll go hard once I'm in the workout there. I wasn't mentally training hard enough in training. So competition time, I fell short. And I had about a month to prepare for the last chance qualifier and actually went all in on training. Ended up winning the last chance qualifier, making it back to the games. And mentally, it was a good reality check of don't get too comfortable. You still have to push hard in training if you want to perform good on the floor.
Yeah, it's such a good just lesson just for sports in general. You know what I mean? It's like the old celebrate for 24 hours and then back to work, you know, kind of mentality. And I appreciate you being kind of open about that. It sounds like maybe there was a slight bit of overconfidence and then you had to get a little humble pie at the semifinal. And then you said, all right, we got a month to get after it. And we got to get, you know, our golden ticket through the last chance qualifier. So when you walked into Madison, did you have a goal on where you wanted to place, or was it still kind of like, all right, we're house money, let's just see what happens?
Yeah, I actually went into the games in second to last place because technically 2 spots had come from the last chance qualifier and we were the bottom 2. And it was, I knew it. Like I could feel it. I'm coming in as an underdog. Let's prove these people that I've been working hard these past 2 months. Let's try and work our way up from second to last place. So it was a lot of fun because I felt like I was down at the bottom, climbing my way up. So, hey, I got 15th on an event. I came in 38th place. 15th is great. And it just gave me a really positive outlook of, oh, I'm not dead last. This is great. Let's keep going. Let's see where this goes.
And then throughout the weekend, obviously, as the leaderboard gets a little bit more solidified, obviously in the beginning, it's all over the place because where did you start to think, hey, I might be able to break into that top 10?
I actually ended day 1 of the 22 games in 3rd place. So after day 1, it was a big reality check of, okay, I have been working hard and I have improved. Let's see where this weekend goes. And 22 games was really special to me because I was in the final heat a lot. So standing next to big names, still a little bit starstruck like Tia, Laura Horvath, Haley Adams, Mal, and being in their heat and competing with them, not just at the back of the pack. So that year gave me a lot of confidence that like I can be in the final heat, not just go to the games and try and stay in the top 20.
Yeah, and that's something, you know, Tony and I were talking about before this in our notes was like kind of the concept of imposter syndrome, you know what I mean? Where you
exactly
even when you're elite and everyone else sees you as elite, internally there's this bit of doubt that you know, it's almost like it's a fluke. And eventually like the gig's going to be up and everyone's going to see the truth that I'm not that elite. You know what I mean? Is that something like, you know, you're sitting in that final, you know, the final heat with all the big hitters that you just mentioned. Do you feel like you kind of experienced that sitting up there, you know, top 10 and you look to your left and right while they're announcing you guys getting ready to throw down? Was that definitely, do you think you experienced imposter syndrome for sure? And do you still feel that way?
I do. So I did that year experience imposter syndrome right before. I don't know if you guys watched Elevated Elizabeth. It was the event that I won actually. But I was standing in between Tia on my right, Laura Horvath on my left. And before the event started, I look over at my friend and was like, can you believe this? Like, take a picture before the event starts so I can put this in my memory journal for later. And then the event starts, and mentally and physically, I feel great. And I end up beating both of them. I had huge imposter syndrome when it started. And then once it was over, I was like, okay, I've been working hard. I guess what I was doing is great. Let's see where this weekend goes. And even now, this year in 2023, working out from home is mentally great to push myself, but I had a lot of insecurities and doubts when I stepped on the floor to begin the games this year because I've only been working out by myself. I feel like I'm fit. I feel like I pushed hard, but I don't know what that means relative to my competition. So I had a lot of events where I was like, did I push hard in the gym? I don't know. Let's find out when 3, 2, 1, go starts. And it just kept surprising myself and surprising myself.